Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Jini. Today I'm going to share with you how I made this lovely thank you card using the Free as a Bird stamp set found in the annual catalog. So let me set this aside and we'll get started. I'm going to start with the stamping on this stamp set and coloring, and I'm going to use my blends, so I'm using my Memento ink to stamp the little bird. Okay, and I'm ready to color now that I've got it stamped. So I am going to start by putting a little swish of color under the little bird's feet, and I'm using the dark crumb cake to do that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of color to the bottom of the bird here. I happen to be partial to bluebirds, and I love seeing them nest in my boxes during the summer and spring as they come through. And then I'm going to add a little bit of our dark calypso coral here. And I'm going to do the beak also. And I'm going to cap that. And then I'm going to bring in my light calypso coral, and I am simply going to start blending that line of color with my light shade and bringing it up, remembering to keep it a little bit away from the edge so that it doesn't bleed. There we go. Now that I got the calypso coral done, I'm ready to bring in my pool party. I'm going to start with my light here using a light. I'm starting with my dark here using a light touch, and I'm simply going to follow the line of the wing and go on up, and I'm also going to do the shadowing here on his face and under his beak a little bit where it would be darker. And then I'm going to come back in with my light, and I am simply going to follow that line again, blending it as I go and adding the center area. There you go. It's that quick and easy. And now I'm ready to cut him out with my layering circles die. Okay, while I cut him out, I also cut out my scallop circle that matches and coordinates with it. So I am ready to do the sentiment, and I'm taking a 1/2 inch strip here. I like to punch the end of it first so that I can see where I need to punch, and then stamp. I'm going to ink up my sentiment, and I am going to stamp that here on the end. Looks good, so now I'm ready to start assembling. I am going to first take my calypso coral piece here and the little footprint piece here in crushed curry, and I'm going to adhere that together. And then I'm going to take that and adhere it to my designer series paper. And you might be wondering why I'm doing this before putting it on the card front. And it's so if you can see this little piece of cardstock that's hanging over, I can trim it before I add it to my card front and adjust for the imperfections of my cutting. And I'm just going to take my paper snips there and trim that off so it's nice and neat. And now I'm ready to adhere it to my card front. I love both sides of the paper. It's hard to choose. I'm going to adhere that down, and then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive onto the back of my sentiment, and I'm going to adhere that in the center. And then once I've got that the length I want it, I can simply cut because I know my bird is going to cover that up. I'm going to adhere my bird onto my scallop circle and then flip it over, add a couple of dimensionals, remove the protective covers, and adhere that to my card front. There we go, and I'm ready to fold this back and use my bone folder so I've got a nice sharp crease. It's that quick and easy. So let me show you the original again. If you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.